What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are back with Process of Elimination, and as you can see in the title of this video, I yanked away the demo portion. This is the full release of the game. We are picking up right where we left off in the first video of the demo. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's a fun little 30 minutes, again, just kind of setting up the world and everything. If you're wondering, hey, should I go back and see that first one? I'm getting major Danganronpa vibes, major 999 or the Nonary games vibes out of this one. If you like that kind of visual novel, puzzle solvey kind of thing, I think there's going to be some detective gameplay aspects coming up. So yeah, keep your eye out. So I decided to do what Senior Detective suggested and make my way toward the manor at the peak of the mountain. My mentor always chided me for being so rash. Maybe I wouldn't have been abducted if I had just waited for him like I was supposed to. What's more, I get this deep feeling of dread whenever I look at that building to the right of the heliport. So last time we went into that building, we ended up seeing a pile of corpses and then dying ourselves because there was no oxygen in the room. I stand by it. I think it was maybe like nitrogen poisoning or something, because I know you can displace oxygen with a whole bunch of nitrogen. And essentially you can suffocate people in a room. I said nitrogen poisoning, but you get what I mean. Either way. So there was a pile of corpses and then our main character dies, and then somehow he wakes up right before he entered there. So maybe there's going to be some sort of like time travel. I've read a few manga. I'm reading one manga right now where there's a similar thing where a character's trying to solve all these mysteries, but he has this like save load function, like a video game. So, right as he's about to die, he can hit load and then go back and make a different branching path. I can't remember the name of it. So maybe we have something kind of like that going on. I should follow Senior Detective's advice, especially considering that he must have a way better grasp of the situation than me. What is this place, really? This island? I make my way up the mountain, quietly grumbling to myself, when suddenly a chill runs down my spine. I quickly turn to look behind me, but the only thing in sight is that building. I get that strange feeling that that going there would have had irrevocable consequences for me. Jeez. My uneasiness lingers, but I turn my back and keep going in spite of it. Okay, wait, give me a second. I want to see... No, that's... Sorry, ignore the heartbeat, and it does not look like I can swap it to English, as much as I would love to. My uneasiness lingers, but I turn my back and keep going in spite of it. I continue up the twisting mountain path for about 15 minutes, until at last, I arrive at the manor door. It was a gentle incline, but I'm still spent. I wearily take a seat, resting my back against the outside wall of the manor. It's the exact kind of setting you'd expect in any mystery novel. The manor's exterior speaks to its age and spells faintly of lumber. During my approach, I could only gasp at the structure's imposing beauty. Upon closer inspection, I notice its windows are constructed from an unnaturally thick glass, impossible to break or peek through. Sorry, I went quiet there. I started hearing the violin in the background. I was really liking this music. This is nice and... It's nice. I stand up and circle the perimeter, but there don't appear to be any points of entry aside from the front door. If anything, it seems like it was built to house prisoners, not residents. This definitely isn't your average manor. What on earth could be waiting within? I slow down and catch my breath. My hand is damp with sweat, and I turn the knob of the manor's only entrance. A loud clank rises out as it swings open with ease. The interior seems normal enough. Am I just overthinking things? I ask weakly as I take a step inside. As soon as I let go of the knob, the door closes on its own. Not one moment later. Huh? A sharp pain suddenly erupts in my head, causing me to stagger involuntarily. A shadow at my feet expands rapidly. My spine tingles as I feel something rush quickly towards me. Without even a moment of hesitation, I kick out and leap to the side. However, something slams hard against the back of my skull. The impact sends me flying. My vision swims and my mind already fading. I find myself unable to stand. Then, the world fades to white. Yo, guys, this chump ain't waking up. How about I kick him around a bit? Don't be so violent, Rowdy. I hear voices nearby. I totes side with Doleful here. Violence is so not cool. Why don't we just, dump a bucket of water on him instead? That idea is just as extreme downtown. Let's try and consider our options rationally. Mayhaps his vital organs are unresponsive. I shall administer a cardiac massage at once. No need for that. I think he's waking up. I open my eyes, but my vision is blurred. The dizzying pain in my head is unbearable. There's a constant ringing in my ears, and my body won't move an inch. A wave of nausea comes over me, but I manage to stop myself from groaning. What happened? I vaguely recall being hit by something the moment I stepped into the manor. At last my vision finally clears up. Who are you people? When my eyes refocus, I'm met with several unfamiliar faces and a sturdy rope binding me. I'm tied up, surrounded by a group of strangers. What in the world is going on? You lousy intruder. A girl in a sports jacket grabs me by the throat, glowering menacingly. She looks to be in her early teens, but her strength is incredible. I can't get a peep out while trapped in her iron grip. You got some stones jumping us on our home turf. Who are you spying for, huh? Calm down, rowdy detective. The hell with that. This Jamoke. Jamoke? Is it Jamoke? I'm not sure. Might have offed some of our own. Plus, he won't even give us an answer. I ain't just gonna let that slide. Well, you can't talk if you're actively choking him now, can he? Huh? Crap. You got a point. Tetchy detective. Sorry, intruder. My bad. 100%. The girl in the sports jacket lets me go, then immediately falls to her knees, touching her head to the floor as she apologizes. It's okay. You don't need to grovel about it. I'm still in the dark here, but I get that you have every reason to suspect me. That checks out, but it doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. But it doesn't make us right. One bad turn deserves another. So come on, hit me. No way am I gonna do that. Besides, I can't. I'm all tied up. So please stop bowing. I have literally no idea what's happening. Who are all of you? What is this island? What's going on around here? As I ask the so-called rowdy detective my questions, the boy in the wheelchair... Oh my god, I cannot fucking speak. The boy in the wheelchair approaches us. I take it you aren't here of your own volition. You say you aren't informed on the situation, right? Yeah, all I know is that Senior Detective brought me here. Senior Detective? The boy called Tetchy Detective cups his chin in thought. I checked your eyes to verify you were unconscious. We'll just assume it wasn't a self-induced ruse for now. But Senior Detective bringing you to HQ? That doesn't sit well with me. Where do you fit in with the rest of us? What do you have to do with the Quartering Duke investigation? Yo, is it Teichi? Teichi? If anybody can, like, phonetically spell that in the comments, that would be awesome. Ow! Oh, sorry. I was lost in thought. Rowdy Detective pokes Teichi Detective, snapping him out of his trance. He dips his head in apology. I'm confused as ever right now, but I have heard of these two detectives before. Does that mean that all of them are? Anyway, should we let the guy loose? Keep grilling him while he's all tied up, and people are gonna think we're into this kind of stuff. Hold on, downtown detective. What? Sorry, it's just, we should wait a bit longer, I think. The trendy girl responds with indignation, causing the frail boy to tear up. Wait, do we have a trap situation? Is the one with the bandages playing a trap card? Is that what's going on here? I think that's the meme. I don't know. I'm a boomer, so I mean I might get that wrong. Our enemy wields a deadly poison that can kill over 20 people. If this is him, he could wipe us all out just by scattering a trace amount of it. Okay, so I'm guessing the kill 20 people are all those dead people in that building that I saw over there. Okay, so I guess it was poison and not just, like I said, nitrogen displacing the oxygen. I don't know. I had a theory. Spraying him without at least a pat-down would be far too dangerous. Yeah. Guess I got antsy there. My bad. Even though her idea got rejected, the trendy girl called Downtown Detective laughs as if nothing happens. Thanks, doleful detective. No wonder you're number 14. Mad props. Nonsense. I'm just paranoid. Still, I don't want any more victims. Like all those people in the research facility. If anything, we need to be overcautious. The somewhat androgynous youth speaks full of fear. Victims like those in the research facility. The comment catches my attention, but now now isn't the time to be asking questions. Instead, I hold my tongue and continue to watch in silence. Fear not, Sir Doleful Detective. Even should his intentions prove nefarious, I, Armor Detective, swear to protect you. Okay, does anybody see what I mean by this strikes me as very Danganronpa? The armored man rests one hand on the youth called Doleful Detective and the other on Downtown Detective. Sorry if my audio spiked there. I leaned into the mic and raised my voice. Probably shouldn't do that combination. Thanks, Armor. Physical exertion is a lot for me, so I appreciate it. Though the boy smiles at Armored Detective, Downtown Detective waves off the gauntlet, looking utterly repulsed. Yeah, nah, I'm good. You're, like, suffocating me. Would you back off, number 32? You recall my rank, despite mine being the only one here that is lower than 30. My heart is stirred. I swear on my life to protect you. I like Armor. Ugh, take a hint. How annoying can you get? Armor Detective happily strides closer to Downtown Detective. He doesn't seem to notice the look of genuine disgust on her face. Moving on, we should touch base with the chief on our D-pads. We're lucky our detective signal allows us to communicate from the manor to the research facility. A man who looks like a corporate employee joins the conversation. He holds a familiar tablet-like device in his hands, a D-pad, the trademark of the Detective Alliance. My heart beats fast in spite of myself as I guess at the nature of my company. Thanks, workaholic detective. You're always so quick on your feet. Adulting 101. Plan, do, check, act. As for our Sleeping Beauty here, I got in touch with the chief, and he's indeed a fellow member of the DA. To be safe, I'd like to confirm with you directly. This is no mistake, right? Right, no mistake about it, though I only just got my D-pad. Honestly, I'm completely new to this. Everything clicks into place as I speak with the man referred to as Workaholic Detective. I knew it. They really are part of the Alliance. And these aren't just any average members. They're so famous, even a nobody like me knows of them. There could only be one possible reason why a group of detectives like this would be gathered here. It was the same thing I had been brought for, to discuss how to handle the Quartering Duke. And they're all here for that meeting, no doubt. The only question that remains is, why would a new recruit who lacks even a proper alias be here at Detective Alliance HQ? Were you also invited to participate in our discussion regarding how to deal with the Quartering Duke? Yeah, Senior Detective explained it to me. Oh, that's right, I have my own D-pad too. So, the one in your shirt pocket really was yours. My apologies, I took the liberty of searching you. What? When? Probably when you were unconscious. I don't know how, but Workaholic Detective is clearly holding my device. The fact he could swipe it without my noticing is terrifying. Now then, if you would allow me to borrow your hand for just a moment. Workaholic Detective grabs my hand to bypass the D-pad's fingerprint authentication, navigating to the message application with practiced ease. He seems to be checking my invitation to the Quartering Duke meeting, which I had been reading just before I fell unconscious. I see. It's the exact same message as the one I received. It appears you truly will be joining us. Relief washes through me as at Workaholic Detective's smile, but it doesn't last long. That being said, anyone capable of infiltrating this island would have no trouble faking a simple email. Workaholic Detective's smile turns grim, his piercing gaze cuts right through me, making my body flare up with goosebumps. Making lousy knockoffs, huh? You're asking for a one-way ticket to hell, pal, courtesy of my fist. You don't give off that unique presence the rest of us detectives have. Just, who are you? We lack sufficient data for any conclusions. For now, we have no choice but to keep him under surveillance until we can find out more. The other detectives watch me warily. Their eyes make it abundantly clear that they're on high alert. I completely understand why they suspect me. Exceptional circumstances, but that doesn't make their looks sting any less. Dwelling on Doleful Detective's unsettling remarks earlier leads me to wonder what happened to the Detective Alliance. Look, being on edge won't help us at all, so why don't we just, I don't know, bring him along. We still gotta find Old Man Senior, so it's not like we have time to stand around arguing. Our minds are one, Lady Downtown Detective. I fully concur. Let us treat him as a compatriot until more evidence appears. Our minds are miles apart, weirdo. But whatevs. Call me an airhead, but I'm with Armor on this. I think it'd be chill to take him with us. Besides, I know my mystery stories. Splitting up would be, like, totally suicide. Mystery stories, you say? Teichi Detective smiles wryly as Rowdy Detective grabs the rope tying me up. Okay, this is getting a little redundant. I say just refer to them by the code name, not Teichi Detective, Rowdy, just Teichi, Rowdy, Downtown, Armor, you know, just like that, instead of putting Detective at the end. It's a little too wordy. Especially after now, where we see how the format works. Yeah, like that. Yeah, Downtown's got the right idea. Rowdy Detective tears my restraints apart as if they're made of paper. I can now move freely, except for my bound hands. But still, what raw physical strength. It's hard to believe a girl smaller than me could be so powerful. Mistrust in each other is exactly what the Quartering Duke wants. So for now, I'll trust it too. I wish you'd ask before acting. But at least I do agree with the notion. My search didn't turn up anything suspicious. Until further notice, you'll be coming with us. Seeing as this is a race against the clock, I'll have to catch you up as we move along. Thank you. The detectives head out one after another. Now that the mood has lightened up a bit, I can't help but let out a sigh of relief. I've seen plenty of suspects get interrogated in mystery novels and shows, but never did I expect to be the one in the hot seat. Life sure keeps you on your toes. That reminds me, what should we call you, intruder? You don't have a detective alias yet. This is your chance to pick one. My name is... I barely stopped myself from answering. I barely stopped myself from answering downtown with my real name. Keeping your name secret is the first rule of the Detective Alliance. It could be deadly for your identity to get out between cases. That's why upon joining the DA, members are given a one-word code name based on defining characteristics. The code name is known as a detective alias. I've longed to have one of my own ever since Mr. Gunjoji told me about them. My detective alias is... Despite my yearning for one, it's hard to think of anything on the spot. I have no experience, skills, or defining characteristics. To be perfectly honest, I couldn't even begin to guess why I was let into the Detective Alliance. What? Isn't that hard? You're older than me. Shouldn't you have more life experience? Like, seriously, dude? I can't even with you. Sorry, this is really embarrassing. Well, let's think of one together. What are your skills? Anything you're good at and all? Anything you're good at all, the cases you've been in so far. I'm good at finding cats. They like me. Downtown gives a deep sigh. My amateur status fills me with shame. Alrighty then. How about we call you Incompetent Detective? What? No, it's just cruel. You might as well be saying I'm good for nothing. I mean, not that it isn't true, but still. I obviously prefer a different name, but before I can object... Hey everyone, until we think of something better, this here is Incompetent Detective, okay? Nice and humble, fitting a young gun, itching to find a place in the world. I see, so it's a caricature of your traits, in the same vein as doleful or in workaholic. Right, you're one of us, Incompetent. Poor bastard. A name with which we can call upon your aid deepens our bonds. I am at your service, Sir Incompetent. Picking on the new guy. Takes me back. Incompetent Detective rapidly gains the approval of the rest. So rapidly that it's too late to dispute it, much to my chagrin. Aw, look how fast your new name caught on. Aw, I'm so happy for you, Incompetent. You bitch. I really do. I really like her. She's fun. It doesn't make me happy at all. Despite my protests, Downtown ignores me, flashing a devilish grin. Thus did I become Incompetent Detective, an official member of the Detective Alliance. Bright red carpet covers the floor, and landscape paintings adorn the walls of the corridor. The detectives explain the situation as we walk down the passageway, the scent of roses on display around us drifting in the air. This location to which you've been brought is an island that doesn't appear on any map. The DA has used this as a base of operation for years. In its two buildings, Snarks, a research facility for investigation, support, and gear development, and Gormangast, a manor for overnight stays. The original plan was for everyone to discuss the situation in the manor. We were to review dioramas of various quartering Duke cases. That was the plan? rowdy detective suddenly punches the wall beside her, causing the other nearby walls to tremble from the impact. When we got here, a bunch of detectives from HQ had been snuffed out by poison. All 22 members at the research facility gone. All 22 of them? Every hair on my body stands on end at the unthinkable news. Even among history, more infamous mass murders, a few had a death toll of more than 20. Killing 22 people at once is beyond all reason. The culprit piled their bodies at the facility's entrance, as if they were naught but rubbish. Such savagery is less than inhuman. Seeing the heap of corpses would have killed your appetite big time. Incompetent. And the poison gas filling the room would have killed you for real. Lucky you didn't go in there, huh? A heap of corpses. Just imagining it makes me feel faint. And that's not even taking the deadly gas into account. Maybe a senior detective knew about the gruesome scene, so he sent me straight to the manor instead. That would also explain why he hid me in the forest and went off on his own. I need to find him soon and thank him for keeping me safe. I love that guy's mustache. I'm going to say it every time I see him. I love his mustache. It was another quartering Duke attack, right? We're not sure yet. For how many deaths there were, the clues are awfully scarce. Quartering Duke cases always result in 2 concurrent victims. This crime would appear to have a different modus operandi. The quartering Duke did him in, no doubt. If I catch that bastard skulking around the island, I'm a clean as clock. It's said that the quartering Duke has killed over 100 people, but even that was over the course of half a year. On the other hand, murdering 22 people at once, all of them first-rate detectives, no less, could hardly be the work of an amateur. I get the impression that he commits grisly deeds for the thrill of it, but otherwise his identity is a complete mystery. We began our investigation at the research facility, but then the chief's D-pad received a message from a surviving Alliance member. Teichi Detective draws out his own D-pad and plays an audio file. The senior detective. Some attacked. E-search. Facet. All dead. Hiding in Gormangast. Chief, meet there. Help. The recording cuts off there. Although the sound was low and full of static, even I could grasp what is signified. That's senior detective's voice, isn't it? He's alive then. Thank goodness. Yes, I'm certain that's him, making it through the situation unscathed. It's no wonder he's a legend among detectives. Is he really that incredible? You know the Dayless Night incident? It still shows up on the news. Not only did he solve it, he's also a founding member of the DA. Let's see, can we get... Okay, the popular name for a series of incidents caused by the Morning Star of Dawn Society, which at the time commanded public support and even exercised influence in the political sphere. Sect founder Junichi Nanase, who went by the name Lucifer, of course, targeted opponents by kidnapping, confining, torturing, and brainwashing them. He is also believed to have carried out a number of cruel human experiments, though the building where this is purported to have taken place has been collapsed in a disaster. Lucifer utilized TV stations and internet broadcasts to steal the hearts of viewers with his witty comments and charismatic mannerisms, steadily growing his hordes of believers. 13 years ago, Lucifer attempted to take advantage of the chaos after a major earthquake by plotting to release poison gas, resulting in his capture by the world's premier detective, Vidocq. Vidocq received a global recognition for this accomplishment, eventually leading to the establishment of the DA. Although 13 years later have passed since he was apprehended, Lucifer's followers have continued committing crimes in his name unabated. The true irony is that by solving this case, Vidic triggered an existential increase in domestic crime, thereby fueling the ongoing detective craze. Okay. Can we see all our... we still have some more detectives that we haven't met yet. So we got Workaholic. His notable cases, the case of the endless night shift. Give you a chance to pause and read. See, I'm really curious about the ability details, because I've seen something where it looks like you can move around in the mansion with the characters and take different actions and whatnot. Clearly we haven't gotten there yet. So I'm really curious how all of these like RPG details are going to have an impact. Oh, what was his rank? He's rank 10. Doleful at rank 14. Notable cases, the case of building number 16. Spending time at home is his hobby. The danger magnet. What's his reliable investigation is his special skill. Okay, Teichu Detective, number 20. The case of the VR killer. Special skill, engineering forensic friends. Okay. As always, pause and read, please. Downtown, rank 22. The case of the Ikebukuro Ripper. Special skill, social deduction. Okay, so she's good with people. Armor Detective, number 32. The case of the Undead Cyborg. Special skill, protection. Okay, kind of fits in with his armor sort of aesthetic. Rowdy Detective, number 25. Notable case, the Mina Mijuji kidnapping incident. Special skill, superhuman strength. And we've already read Senior Detective, our buddy here, and back to the beginning. Okay. Caught up on all the characters there. The Dayless Night incident. Even school textbooks talk about that. And you're saying he cracked it? I was a kid then, so I don't remember much, but it was the worst terror attack in national history, sparked by a new religious movement. From that event onward, criminal atrocities swept the nation, which is part of why the Detective Alliance was formed. Solving a case of that magnitude would absolutely qualify him as a legend. Originally, we'd split up from the other detectives and headed to the manor to reconvene with Senior. Soothly? It must be a villain most foul for even Sir Senior to be forced into hiding. We must hasten to his aid forthwith. You mean there are other detectives here besides you guys? For sure. There's, 6 more investigating the research facility? It's like a detective buy one, get one sale in there, Lamau. God, she's even using text speak in real life that, I don't quite get what she means, but, I don't get what she means by that, but I guess it is a lot of detectives. I'm sure reeling from this heinous murders we've yet to unravel, but at least now there's a glimmer of hope. I believe we've searched every room, but there's no sign of Senior. Maybe the culprit arrived here before we did. Senior would have realized that and escaped. If the message was intercepted, the culprit could only have easily gotten ahead of us. Oh yeah, I can see that happening. It took us, 10 minutes to get here? But there's only one path from the facility to here, and it's surrounded by sheer cliffs. No one could escape without us noticing. The detectives process the situation with impressive speed. I'm barely keeping up as I struggle to understand what it all means. Downtown's casual chit-chat is about the only thing that makes any sense to me. This room doesn't get any wireless internet either. Why bother having a phone then? Ugh. This is such a major bummer. Even if there were a router here, I doubt it would do you any good. Oh yeah? Why? Because the island's off the grid? Not exactly. I tried connecting to a wired network in the research facility, but I couldn't get it to work at all. I made another attempt here at the manor a moment ago, but that failed too. The island's communication antenna might be down. But our D-pads can still link up to each other, right? What's the diff between that and our smartphones? Well, the D-pads have a unique communication system. As part of the R&D team, I must say it's truly amazing tech. Basically, it works by... Okay, we get it. So I can't even, chat with my followers while we're here. Ugh. Can this be any lamer? I prefer to see this as an opportunity for us fellow detectives to deepen our bonds of camaraderie. Guess it can. That scent. You gotta be kidding me. Rowdy starts crawling on all fours like a dog right at the entrance of the room. She presses her face to the carpet with a sharp expression on her face. What's wrong, Rowdy? Blood. I can smell it. Huh? Silence fills the room. The others all turn to look at Rowdy. Nearly missed it thanks to that rosy smell and red carpet, but the floor's got blood on it. See? From the entrance to them flowers. Rowdy approaches an empty vase and sticks her hand in it, pulling out a bloody knife. Bingo. Don't know which poor mug's sauce this. What poor mug's sauce this is. But I'll tell you one thing, some goon was on the loose in here. Oh my god, it was OJ. The juice is loose. How do you even notice the smell? The blood is already dry. Been hunting with my old man since I was little. I've got the nose of a bloodhound, eyes of a hawk, ears of a rabbit, and a raw macho spirit. I'm not so convinced that helping on hunting trips would give you those kind of abilities, but it's astonishing nonetheless. Rowdy, that knife wasn't used here, was it? Yeah, nothing in the room but traces of stains. I guess they came by to hide the knife. There we go. I can track the scent, but the hall's chock full of roses. It ain't gonna be easy with them smelling up the place. I figured as much. With that said, Teichi, might you have an alternate method? Of course, I go by this alias for a reason after all. Oh my god, it's not Teichi, it's Teki. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't believe my brain did not do... I was so focused on it being Japanese that I was... Oh my god. I'm an idiot. Teki proudly pulls out a cute little machine that resembles a puppy out from his pocket. This is my tracking forensic friend, Sniffy Whiffy. I already love this. It's really stupid, and I already love it. Techie Detective developed these 7 high-performance support tools in collaboration with the DA, though he possesses a variety of other gadgets. This term refers specifically to those intended to form the foundation of his detective work. Their peculiar names stem from Techie's strong sense of camaraderie towards his creations. Due to his physical limitations, Techie had few chances to play with children his age, as he found solace through inventing. It only follows that he would think to build his own companions. Referring to them as tools is sure to earn you Techie's ire. Be sure to always refer to them as friends. The Alliance helped me develop him. He can tirelessly trace down any scent he registers, and his prime directive is to save lives. Furthermore, he has small rubber treads to cover a tricky terrain without disturbing the scene. He can move up to 15 kilometers an hour. How fast is that? He's also equipped with a transmitter, so you can monitor him with from a D-pad. Plus, he uses the same lithium-ion batteries that the International Space... Yes, that is all very impressive. We'd love to hear more about it later, but for now, why don't we start tracking? Oh, right. Sorry. I get a little carried away when I talk about my inventions. Techie returns to reality, hanging his head in shame. Now, let's not waste any time. Use this tool. He's not a tool. This is my friend. Don't just treat him like some piece of equipment. Workaholic bows several times in apology for misspeaking. True to his name, he's the very picture of a harried office worker. Techie may seem calm and collected, but careless remarks about his inventions are a clear sore spot of his. I'd better watch my words. I cannot believe I didn't recognize that as Techie. Oh my god. Like, I was so focused on it being Japanese that I figured it had to be some other reference or something. God damn it, and all the other ones are in English. God, I'm stupid. Sorry, everyone, for blowing up like that. Let's get to tracking that scent. Techie calms down, setting his dog-like tracking machine, Sniffy Whiffy, loose near the bloodstain. Sniffy Whiffy scoots across the floor just like a real dog. He circles around a couple of times, then thumps into the room's door. He's on the hunt. Let's open the door and see where he goes. I really wish we could see the thing moving around the floor. That would be so cute. I open the door and Sniffy Whiffy darts out of the room, barreling down the hall towards the stairs. All I can pick up is roses, but he must have zeroed in on the trail of the blood. Huh? How about that? My nose wasn't getting jack squat. Strictly speaking, it's not the scent, but rather the air particles that he tracks. Hence why he isn't thrown off by other smells in the vicinity. So much for the whole nose of a bloodhound spiel. Can it? My nose is what got us this lead in the first place. Sniffy Whiffy stops at a painting just before the stairs to the entrance hall. Sir Sniffy has halted. Could this be the site of the stabbing? No tin for brains. I don't see any bloodstains. Do you? The knife must be used somewhere else, like behind the painting. Behind it? Whatever could you mean? Is there a world within the painting? To think the stuff of children's fairy tales could actually exist. Relax, Armor. The answer is clear if you think through it logically. Workaholic touches the painting as he inspects the frame. He then gently taps the artwork before pressing his ear against it. No question about it. There's a hollow space behind the painting, which means that if I shift it like this... Still touching the painting, Workaholic moves his hand. The entire wall around it slips back like a sliding door, revealing a hidden passage. Sniffy Whiffy, who has been waiting in place, begins moving again, right down the newly discovered path. How did you figure that out? Trade secret. You pick up a lot when you've been on the job as long as I have. Dang, Gramps. You got me rethinking my take on you. No, oh my god. Sorry, I needed to take a second there. I about threw my controller. I might even, like, I don't know, kind of respect you now. I hate when people say no cap. I hate it, 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 I hate it. Because it doesn't even make sense to me. Ugh. I wish you wouldn't call me that. I'm still in my 20s, you know? Barely, but it still counts. Yeah! Workaholic turns red in the face as Downtown slaps him on the behind. That blade was used somewhere up ahead. As we know not that... One more time. As we know not what may occur, I shall stand in the vanguard. Wait up, bucko. It's wide enough for two, see? I'm taking the lead too, so keep your eyes peeled. Rowdy tries to push forward, but it's stopped by the doleful detective. Actually, would you mind guarding the entrance with Techie in downtown, Rowdy? I think my abilities could come in handy here. Armor and Doleful are to spearhead our foray into the secret passage, with me and Workaholic Detective following after. Rowdy, Downtown, and Techie would remain at the entryway, acting as lookouts in case the tunnel is a trap. As for why I'm being brought along, it's probably because I won't be able to escape in this tunnel. I'm struck by the fact that Workaholic, the most experienced of the group, had deftly assumed a position beside me. These detectives don't miss a single beat. Alright, Armor and I will lead the way. As he speaks, Doleful and Armor enter the tunnel together. Workaholic and I continue right behind them. The four of us descend down a spiral staircase that winds its way underground. At the bottom is a gloomy underground tunnel. We proceed into it, using the light function on our D-pads to guide the way. The only sounds are our footfalls echoing in the tunnel, as well as Sniffy Whiffy's treads crawling along the ground ahead of us. The air is dusty and reeks of mold, making it hard to breathe. Clearly, this place is seldom used. My love of cleanliness aches to ventilate the place. Doleful's eyes narrow as he travels the tunnel. His usual fearsome... God damn it, his usual fearful countenance is still is tense, as if he has. My tongue's getting tired, as if he's an entirely different person. Impressive, is it not? Doleful's intense concentration, that is. Workaholic whispers to me as if he's reading my mind. Ranked number 14, he solved over 100 cases and survived just as many bloody encounters as us veteran detectives. Over 100 cases solved? God, the idea alone leaves me speechless. We can't be that far apart in age, yet his track record is on a whole other level. What sort of heroic life has this seemingly gentle boy led up to now? What did Doleful mean when he said his abilities could come in handy here? You'll see soon enough. He possesses what we in the Alliance would call the makings of a great detective. Doleful stops in his tracks. Armor, stop. What happened, Sir Doleful? Your leg is bleeding. Armor shines his D-pad light on Doleful's detective's leg, revealing a trail of blood beneath his knee. Something reflects in the light just ahead of them. There's something at your feet. My guess is that it's a trap to ward off intruders. Judging by the texture, it must be some kind of wire. He's right. When I get close to the reflection, I see red dripping off an extremely fine wire. It was so razor thin and difficult to see that, were it not for the blood, it would have been nearly imperceptible. Even in direct light. This is the wire. The wire saw the detective is currently developed. Okay, that saw the noun, not saw the past tense verb. Okay. Why would the Alliance make something like this? For cutting locks to enter sealed rooms, or as a means of escape when restrained. Word is that it requires specialty gloves to handle. Best to avoid touching it, given its intended use. It's so sharp that, with enough pressure, it could cut straight through human flesh. It's a good thing I noticed it then. Workaholic produces medication and bandages from his pocket and begins applying first aid to Doleful's legs. This is a rather nasty cut, but you're lucky to get off this lightly. Anyone else would have been liable to lose a leg in your position. Who else feels that Workaholic is going to be the poisoner? I don't know, something about him. This is giving me that vibe. Like, he's not he doesn't have like a crazy personality like the rest of them. He just kind of seems like a regular dude. I don't know. It's just the vibe I get from him. Special skill? What do you mean by that? For some reason, Doleful struggles to reply. Workaholic steps in to answer on his behalf. Doleful is a danger magnet with a knack for close calls, from traps to wanted criminals to finding murder scenes and even evidence. Which attracts dangerous phenomenon to his person. Its exact mechanics are unclear. It's called Fatally Unlucky. That's sad. Well known simply because they survive. May as well be the unlucky souls. Yada yada. Okay, so essentially, it's what I thought it was. So essentially, he attracts. Hence all the bandages and scars. He attracts, danger and bad things happening to him. His innate intuition and powers of insight are what allowed him to survive such less than fortunate circumstances. So that's how he has the makings of a great detective. In stories, detectives are always expected to survive, even when wrapped up in a personal case, and even when their life is on the line. Now, I'm standing in front of a real-life detective who embodies that very trope. It's not that impressive. In fact, I'd say I just bring misfortune to everyone and everything around me. It's kind of like a miserable existence. Doleful's expression flickers as he touches a bandage on his wrist. The countless traces of medical attention covering his body shows just how much suffering he's constantly endured. Still, it's made me more sensitive to threats than the average person. I can always sense when I'm in danger, so just think of me as your shield. I see the resolve within Doleful's eyes as he speaks. He and I may look similar. I might even be the older one, but nothing in me compares with that look. We couldn't be farther apart. Sir Doleful, you needn't be so reserved. Armored Detective abruptly steps forward. He then swings his arm up before bringing it down to chop the wire before us. Armored Detective, the wire can cut steel. Just because you're wearing protective covering doesn't mean... Fear not. The suit in which I am clad is a product of my family's long-held secrets. Behold the strongest armor known to man, and several known to dolphins. If anybody knows that, you and I can be friends. Sure enough, Armored Detective doesn't have a single scratch on him. Both Doleful and Workaholic widen their eyes in incredulity. It's a fun word, incredulity. No matter the trap, mine armor shall prevail. Set your minds at ease and allow me to take the lead. But putting me in front will minimize the total risks for our team as a whole. I can't stand idly whilst my companions are hurt. Despite my inadequacies, I hastened here to be as an aegis for each of you. Armored Detective speaks with a calmness that eases Doleful's taut expression. Despite the latter's brave front, he might have been nearing his limit. Thank you, Armor. In that case, I'll stay back a bit and keep an eye out. Armor takes the lead as Doleful acts as a lookout behind him. Armor, I can sense a threat right in front of me, about head height. Another wire, eh? Understood. Without a second thought, Armor swings his hand towards the area Doleful indicated. Chop, chop, chop. Sometimes Doleful's warnings come too late and Armor runs into a wire, but even then it never leaves a mark. We continue safely through the darkness, until... Based on the signal, the tracker has been stopped 5 meters ahead. It would seem we've arrived at the scene where the knife was used. We finally make it to the end of the tunnel with 0 injuries, save for Doleful Detective, of course. Sniffy Whiffy is parked right in front of a steel door, which means the bloody knife was found earlier must have been used right behind it. I hate to ask, Armor, but would you mind taking point? No need to apologize, Sir Workaholic. My armor exists for the very moments I must forge such paths. And yet, Armor looks tense as he cautiously touches the doorknob. Goosebumps ripple across my body. Deep down, I get the overwhelming urge to scream, "Don't open it!" It's as if my mind somehow knows that what we're about to see is truly horrific. I have an extremely bad feeling about this. I shall open the door on the count of 3. 1, 2. The doorknob makes a click as it turns. My heart rate leaps, but I can't bring myself to look away. 3. A blinding light flashes as the door opens, forcing me to avert my eyes. On top of that, a metallic stench envelops me. The way it sticks to my throat makes me cough. However, none of the other detectives show even a hint of fear as they proceed beyond the door. I hurry to follow them, but at that moment... I'm not doing that. Doleful's cry echoes out. As I step into the room, the first thing I see is the ground dyed in crimson. The red spreads across so much of the floor that at first I mistake it for a carpet pattern. When there's no way that's the case, despite my hateful disbelief, the smell filling the air tells me that this is blood. With each breath, the metallic stench fills my lungs, my stomach, my whole body. I'm assailed by an overwhelming urge to vomit. If I lose focus for even a minute, I know I'll wind up spilling my guts out. Upon closer inspection, I notice something floating in the ocean of gore. It's large and reminds me of a caterpillar. 4 other long, thin objects surround it. In a way, they resemble a quartet of lifeboats, all rowing in different directions away from the sinking ship. But in truth, they're human limbs scattered about across the floor. Before us, in the scene devoid of life, a man whose name I don't know gazes at me, his head half submerged in the sanguine sea. My eyes are transfixed as I stand there in a daze. There's a biting chill as if the temperature has dropped by quite a few degrees. My hands and legs tremble. I can barely stand. Every ounce of strength leaves my body, which no longer feels like my own. I muster up all the willpower I can only to topple over on the spot. Is this all just a bad dream? First crime scene, huh? I know it's hard to take in, but try not to look away. Without any concern to spare for me, Workaholic walks towards the pool of blood. Doleful, armor. Head back up and fetch the other 3 detectives. After that, I'd like you to ask the chief to come to the manor. He sums up the heart of the matter in a low voice. It's a homicide. Someone is murdered, senior detective. Regardless of how detached the remains while objectively stating facts, it doesn't change the reality we're facing. A middle-aged man's corpse lies dismembered, his limbs strewn across the room we stand in. For the first time in my life, I'm confronted with a murder scene. Chapter 1, The Case of the Dismembering Detective. Alright guys, I think that is a good place to call it quits for today. Oh wow, man, we're almost right on the hour mark. Look how good I am. Jeez, I was kind of hoping, I'm like, man, I hope we can get to some like natural stopping point soon. I didn't want to end it in some just random spot, even though like I said, I was getting tongue-tied near the end. It's just visual novels where I have to read the whole thing. I usually try and lean on the shorter side for videos just because, like I said, I get tired reading constantly. But yeah, guys, next time I'm going to assume we're going to start investigating the murder and start seeing some more of the meat of the gameplay. Games like this, they're always going to be a slow burn, so I hope you guys are excited to just kind of experience it with me. I love this kind of shit, and really excited to see where it goes. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, social media in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. But until then, guys, I'm out.